It seems more appropriate to say good evening. Whatever, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for coming. It's just a pleasure to have you here. My name is Olivia Madison, and I'm Dean of the Library. And on behalf of the Senior Vice President Provost, Dr. Jonathan Wickert, the Director of the University Museums, Lynette Pullman, and myself, it is with great pleasure that we welcome you today in joining us to honor the gift of Dr. David Topel and Dr. Jay-Lin Jane-Topel and Dr. Jane-Topel's parents. As some of you are aware, this reception is taking place in the historic 1924 library building. Its stately architecture was designed to showcase art through its exterior facade with its bas-reliefs and carved stone artwork and spacious, elegant interiors. The university's proud commitment to public art, located in the current William Robert Parks and Ellen Sorge Parks Library, has continued since 1924, now 90 years. And for those of you who knew the Parkses, they're probably paying attention right now. This upper rotunda where we are gathered houses the Presidential Portrait Gallery, which continues in the Periodical room. We had too many of them, so they have left this room and gone to the next. And that's the Periodical room now is referred to as the quiet room. Some of you have told me that you were a student here many years ago, and you remember the Periodical room as being really the hub of learning. That's where all the latest journals were kept, issues. And believe me, there were people who were almost gotten fisticuffs over the latest whatever journal issue. But anyway, it was a very important part of the library at that time, and for many years. The rotunda, this room, is flanked by other art as well. To the east is the spectacular mural Unlimited Possibilities, and it still speaks so perfectly to the university's future and what our students can gain by getting degrees here at Iowa State. Unlimited Possibilities by Doug Shelton. To the north, this way, are the celebrated Grantwood murals. They provide a window to the university's path through their depiction of early college divisions. And downstairs, you will find Grantwood's celebrated Breaking the Prairie, which depicts our agrarian roots. Our Periodical room is a fitting location for this new edition of public art, a rotating exhibit of a large collection of Chinese scrolls for the east walls in between the windows, and a breathtaking collection of small jade and hard stone sculptures. The stones known as Shoshan stone or longevity mountain stone. Jay-Lin told me that. By the way, she gives very good staff development. She's a wonderful teacher. The university is fortunate that David and Jay-Lin found this room, the Periodical room, as the fitting location for this gift. I'm now pleased to turn the podium over to Provost Wickert for his formal remarks.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for coming out for this very important celebration and dedication of the Topel Cheng collection. On behalf of President Leith, I'm pleased to say a few words as we celebrate this wonderful addition to the university and thank David and Jay-Lin and their family for their generosity and great service to the university as well. I'd also like to extend a special welcome to all of David and Jay-Lin's friends and colleagues from outside the university and also from inside the university, in particular from our Department of Animal Science and also our Department of Food Science and Human Nutrition. I'd also like to recognize and say a few words about two people who are not here with us tonight. You'll note that we're celebrating the Topel and Cheng collection tonight. And so you might wonder, who are the Chengs? And Tung Shan and Qifeng Cheng are Jay-Lin's parents. And it's really also through their generosity and their love of art that we're able to showcase this outstanding exhibit of Asian art tonight, comprising Chinese jades, hard stones, and these wonderful scrolls that you saw up by the windows. Jay-Lin's father passed away several years ago, and her mother was unable to be here with us tonight. But they obviously played a large and very much appreciated part of the celebration and the moment that we're all sharing tonight. This exhibit in the periodicals room, like all art, I think, is a point of connection. And Iowa State is a big global university. We have students that come from 103 countries. And in fact, we have over 3,000 students from Asia studying with us yet this year. And we prepare our students, whether they come from far away or whether they come from Ames High School, to become global citizens. And understanding culture, people, and art is a big part of that education and that journey. That's why I think the Topel and Cheng Art Collection is going to play such an important role here at Iowa State. It's going to be a point of connection for our growing Asian community at the university, and it's going to be a valuable tool to enhance the education and the cultural understanding among our students, our faculty, and our staff. And it would absolutely not be possible without the generosity of David and Jay-Lin and their personal commitment to bring together and engage everyone here on our campus. Now, interestingly, tomorrow, some of you will know, but others don't know, tomorrow is the beginning of the Chinese New Year. And 2014 is the year of the horse. And according to the Chinese zodiac, the spirit of the horse is energetic, bright, and warm-hearted. And we can say exactly the same thing about David and Jay-Lin. Another thing I'm excited about with this project is the fact that it's a collaboration. It's a wonderful collaboration between the university museums and the university library. The whole theme of this project is being able to make art more accessible to students and put the art where people can see it, where they can experience it, and they can enjoy it. And we are truly blessed here at Iowa State University in having beautiful art and in having a beautiful campus. And much of that credit goes to Lynette Pullman and her team, and in particular Adrian, who is the curator of this exhibit. And let's be sure to thank them for their wonderful work on this project. Art also creates venues for us to do our work at the university, and I have no doubt that there's going to be a lot of work done by students in that room in the coming years. Last week I had the opportunity to attend a reception for our Emerging Leaders Academy over at the Wickert Museum. And over there is currently an exhibit of sketches and etchings by Dick Darling of his wildlife work, and also a calligraphy exhibit, also of Chinese art. And I do hope you'll have the opportunity to enjoy that as well. And those exhibits, like the Topel and Cheng collection, are just building the cultural opportunities for our students here. This space, I think, is very important. As Olivia mentioned, it adds to other spaces in the library and other collections of art, whether it's the Grant Wood murals behind me, the Christian Peterson sculptures here in the library, or the presidential portraits in the room next door. And I think Adrian and her team have done a wonderful job of fitting the Topel and Cheng collection into the architecture of the room. You might look at those windows and see the narrow, relatively narrow spaces between the windows. There's not a lot you could put in those narrow spaces, but Adrian has been able to have the foresight to see that a long scroll would fit perfectly between those windows. So it's really fitting the art into the room. And of course, we also have all of the presidential portraits over there in the periodicals room as well, and they face collection of scrolls and jade. And so I really hope that all of our presidents enjoy Chinese art because well, in learning more about this collection and this new space, I was pleased to learn that David, in his capacity as Dean of the College of Agriculture, actually has had a relationship with the university museums spanning over 2 decades. And he has modeled, very successfully our principle of strong collaborations between the academic side of the university and our museums as well. So on behalf of President Leith, on behalf of our 33,241 students and the Parks Library, I really want to thank David and Jay-Lin one more time for their long service to Iowa State, our academic programs, your generosity to the university, and the very lasting impact that you're making in our culture here at the university. So please join me in thanking and welcoming David and Jay-Lin to the podium.
Thank you, Provost Wickert, for those wonderful words and your thoughtfulness regarding the art collection. We appreciate very much your support for this project. Thank you. My comments today are going to be brief, and I'm going to talk mostly about the process that we followed in developing the Chinese art exhibit for the periodical room. But before I get into that, Jay-Lin and I want to express a special thanks to Lynette Holman, Director of the University Museums, Olivia Madison, who is Dean of the Library here at Iowa State University, Allison, who you've heard about. She's the assistant curator for the museum, and is responsible for this exhibit, and also Allison, who is collections manager for the University Museum. Let's express our thanks by giving this team a good round of applause for this. In recent years, Jay-Lin and I have discussed the future directions for our art collections. After several discussions, we thought it'd be a great idea if the Chinese art collection could become part of the Art on Campus program. Therefore, we invited Lynette to our home to look at the art collection. And she liked it, fortunately, and said that it actually complements the Veneer art collection, Asian art collection. And on exhibit tonight, you'll see that at least two are already complementing each other in this exhibit. So, a few weeks after Lynette visited our home, she talked to Olivia about art for the library and mentioned our collection. Olivia liked the idea and suggested the periodical room be considered for the exhibit. So the next step was to get started on the project. Lynette asked Adrian to lead the project to develop the exhibit. And she's worked really, really hard and has done an outstanding job. So let's give another round of applause to Adrian. She's even learned a little Chinese in this process. Jay-Lin and I are honored to have this exhibit located in the periodical room. It's a location where science and art can come together in a very positive way. And we hope that this collection can be helpful to stimulating cultural experiences and science experiences here in the ISU library. Experiences that the students, faculty, staff, and visitors can take with them as they go through their life experiences. Next, I'd like to express a special thanks to Olivia. Olivia has developed an outstanding library here at Iowa State University, one of the best in the land-grant system. What makes it even better, Olivia included cultural experiences in the library for those who study here and work here, and also for visitors who come to our campus to visit the Art on Campus programs. So, Olivia, thank you so much. In closing, I want to thank all of you that are here this evening to join us for a special activity. Coming out on a cold winter day in Iowa is special for us that you're joining us, and we thank you so much for being here. Now, Jay-Lin will talk a little bit about the collection and the family activities with this special collection. Jay-Lin?
I also wanted to thank everyone, and particularly Provost and Dean Madison and Director Coleman, and also Adrian and Allison for this wonderful exhibit. And so they've asked me to give a little introduction of my family's collection of some of those Chinese art. So I'm here to do it. My parents, Mr. Tong Xiang Cheng and Mrs. Jifei Cheng, they were born in China. And so my father, along with hundreds of thousands of the young men, joined the military during the Second World War to fight against the intrusion of the Japanese. And so later they moved to Taiwan, and I was born in Taiwan. And so my father grew up in a traditional scholarly family. So since he was young, there was a family tradition. So the young kids all practice Chinese calligraphy. That's why it was he and his cousin, my uncle Su Xingjian, they both became established calligrapher. And my uncle, he is a very well-known calligrapher in China, and his calligraphy is engraved in the National Park in Fujian, their hometown. And also one of my aunts is also an artist, and is a specialty in Chinese paintings and so on. And so that shows his background and later his interest of collecting calligraphies, Chinese paintings, and so some of all those paintings that either he acquired or people presented to him, and also there are some of his calligraphy and also my uncle's calligraphy, along with other calligraphers' calligraphies. They are now exhibited in Brazil. And then after the relationship between China and Taiwan softened, and so my father went back his hometown to Fujian to visit his relatives. And back to then, the economy in China was pretty bad. And so a lot of his relatives and the people he grew up together, they still live in China. So he took his savings and then went back to China and spent some time there after his retirement. And so he was a big believer in education. And so he donated money to establish a scholarship, and then also built some facilities for communities to get togethers and to enhance the collaboration. And so his scholarship program turned out to be very successful. And I later learned a lot of young people, and they were able to go to Beijing to attend college. They even got the graduate degrees, and they became very successful, and they returned to hometown and became the leaders of the community. And so during the time that he stayed in his hometown, and so he developed this passion of collecting this Shousan stone sculpture. And so Shousan stone is minded around his hometown. So he has privilege in being close by. That's how he acquired those sculptures. And so after my father passed away in 2000, and so my mother gave his collections to me. And when I discussed this with my mother and my siblings, and they were all very supportive, and they also believed in to share with communities. And so with my mother's blessing, also my siblings' support, and David and I decided to donate these collections to the library, and then to be able to share with students and the university community. And David and I were very appreciative for all of you to be here. And also I want to mention, just by coincidence, since Olivia mentioned the library was built in 1924, and that was the same year my father was born. And so, what a coincidence, I just found out recently. So again, I want to thank all of you for coming, and so we are very appreciative, and I hope you will enjoy watching those collections, and if you have any questions, just grab me anytime. Okay, thank you very much.
I would like to take this opportunity to also thank a few other people that helped make this reception possible, and also worked very hard and creatively to make the Periodical room a fitting location for this amazing gift. We had a great team with members made up from the museums, which included Lynette Coleman and Adrian, as you can imagine. They were the stars of the team. But also very important for the library were Monica Gillen, Shelley Hawkins, Jody Illivan, Karen Lawson, and Nick Osmus. Nick, by the way, is sort of in charge of our building, and he really helped with letting us know that there was probably asbestos under the carpeting, for example. So when we recarpeted the Periodical room and this atrium area, we were prepared. But I would give great thanks to facilities management and planning. They worked under a very tight time schedule. The end of January seemed far away, but it's not far away when you're dealing with a 1924 building. In particular, I'd like to thank Bart Dobson, Cindy Howe, who came up with this beautiful carpeting design, and the ISU carpenters. They are like magic with wood. So I would like to invite you to continue eating. I think there's still food left, and I would like to acknowledge ISU Dining, and Jeffrey Miller was key to the selection of our food and making sure that it was done just right. And with that, thank you. Turnout was just amazing, and it's wonderful to see old friends and make new friends. Thank you so much for coming, and David and Jay-Lin, thank you again.